The team here at Newcomer digs into our favorite predictions for 2026 parlor game for the tech industry. We decided to look at some of the top predictions from The Information, from investor Fred Wilson, and we've got some of our own. Lots of speculation about mergers, Elon companies going public, and a shakeup at OpenAI. Stick around for our conversation. I talk with Tom and Madeline about what's going to happen this year in tech. This is the Newcomer Podcast. Welcome to the Newcomer Podcast. I'm here with Tom Dotan and Maline Renberg. We are going to spend some time engaging with other people's predictions. We've got a great list. Our favorite three from The Information and our favorite three from investor Fred Wilson, an epic investor in Airbnb and Coinbase. And he always has some spicy, sometimes self-interested predictions about the future, much more specific, I think, than a lot of venture predictions out there. So we're going to get into it. We're going to tick through these outside predictions, and then maybe Madeline, Tom, and I will offer some of our own. I was saying before this episode, my daughter is now 3 months old. I'm like, what do I know about the world outside of my house to see into the future? But maybe I've thought about it some, and we'll see. We'll see what spicy thing I land on at the end of this. But
happy 2026! American empire is back. Hard power has returned. We are deposing leaders. This is the year of action.
Welcome to the American hemisphere over here. We're recording live.
Yeah. What does Tex play in the Don Rowe Doctrine?
Yeah, exactly. It's a new era. Anything could happen. Maybe it'll be just an overall wild year. All right. Madeline, you want to hit us with our first prediction?
Sure. Let's start with the Information's list, because they had, their whole editorial team put together a list of predictions, and we picked three that we feel strongly about debating.
Eric, when you were there, were you around at The Information long enough to do a year-end prediction thing? Because it's kind of it's a big tradition there. It's like big year-end content cycle.
I think it might have started in the beginning. I mean, I was there a year and a half from the very beginning. I don't remember.
I did one my first year there, and I predicted, this is a real 2014 moment, but I predicted that Yahoo was going to buy CNN.
And you were never held accountable for getting that wrong.
But not only was I not held accountable, it was taken seriously by some news outlets as like reported news, which we'll get to as a thing that happened to The Information again. And like Business Insider, of course, like aggregated it, and they had to like scramble the jets at CNN and Yahoo, be like, we are not buying CNN. We're not getting acquired by Yahoo. So for whatever reason, year end, news cycle is slow. People take these things far more seriously than they should.
Well, there things that obviously the reporter doesn't have the sourcing to report as fact.
That's why they're predictions.
Right.
There's a science of predictions of like, I couldn't confirm this, so let me throw it out there.
So
and
we
if
just
it happens,
throw out my hunch, and then some of them are just sort of speculative, wild, out of the blue, like, sure, why not? And they're all in the same list, so you're always like, which is which? But should we jump into the list? Should we do?
Yes, let's do it.
Let's do it. Our first prediction from The Information. OpenAI buys Pinterest to bring in its shopping and ad businesses in-house.
I appreciate the gumption. That's a good prediction, right? Like you want, it's two big names. It's an acquisition. It's something you can be proved right or wrong on. So like hats off to them for doing that. However, insane, just completely way off base. Nothing going there at all. That, Pinterest is like a $18 billion company right now. So that would be the largest acquisition in their history. They're not even sure they want to do ads at the moment because they're fighting on the LLM side. It's a completely adjacent industry. Horrible move for them to do. Just complete nonsense. Again, I appreciate
bad
the
for
boldness.
OpenAI, you're saying.
Yeah.
Right.
In a world in which we're taking that
Pinterest
seriously.
would love it. What? They're worth 18 billion, which, isn't insubstantial, but they're down 61% over the last 5 years.
Well, yeah, it'd be great for Pinterest.
Yeah. Sort of a languishing company.
They had a window. Microsoft wanted to buy them. I think PayPal wanted to buy them at a time. I don't remember what happened with those deals. Like they are the perpetual, player on the market, it seems. But for OpenAI to do it is just like a mashing of a, company that seems to be on the market and a famous company in the news. But logically, nope.
I do a lot of shopping in OpenAI.
Really? Have you
Yeah.
found it to be really effective? I haven't tried it as much yet.
I feel like it's more window shopping. I don't know that I'm pulling the trigger on a lot of stuff. I was trying to buy my sister a watch for Christmas, and it was okay. It was all right. You guys don't use it for shopping at all?
I haven't really. I've used it a little bit in some product review, kind of aggregating there, but not really like really in depth for shopping. I should try it out. I should check it out.
I mean, I don't think it's good enough. It's the same. It's like compelling. You're like, I want a leather band watch that's silver in this price point. Give me some options, and it'll give you some, but then it's not rigorous enough to stick to the guidelines.
My thing I'm trying to do with it is get it for travel planning. Like I always want to see if it can pull some unlisted link for some deal at a hotel or a flight or something. So I plug it in specific dates for travel or destinations with cheap flights at this time. And I'm waiting for the day where it actually gets me like a $300 international flight, but not yet. Maybe they're catching on how to hack around that. But some people have been able to do that. So that's my shopping use, I guess, is for traveling.
I tried a deep research once when I wanted to buy a new bag when I turned 40. I decided I shouldn't be wearing a backpack anymore. And so I had it run down like, nice leather satchel bags. And it came with a bunch of stuff and I researched it. And then I was Googling some of these things and there was a sponsored Google ad at the top. And I was like, oh, that looks cool. That looks way better. And I ended up buying that bag. So
Google strikes
Google's
again.
ad dominance.
yeah, their destroying of search with sponsored content actually worked on me, and I'm enjoying my satchel and page. But no, not for me.
All right, we're not buying the OpenAI buying Pinterest. Yeah, next prediction, Madeline.
But hats off, good prediction. I appreciate
Yes.
it. It's just
But
wrong.
great prediction in the spirit of prediction.
In the
That
craft
is a true
of
prediction.
predictions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, moving on. Prediction number 2. Speaking of predictions, a stock exchange buys a prediction market.
Meta.
Very meta. I think that I'm skeptical, but we've been really seeing the rise of prediction markets in the last few months, and I could see it as a pathway for legitimization if they wanted to take it. But I don't know. What do y'all think?
I think this is going to be the year of prediction markets. There's so much momentum and investor interest in these things. From a personal and moral standpoint, I'm pretty horrified by it, but there's no question that I think this will come away. My prediction is that predictions matter in 26 and the prediction markets. So I like the idea of it. I don't know for stock exchanges how many acquisitions they make. How often do you see?
And the real question is, does a stock exchange want to get in the gambling business? Because I think the reality of these prediction markets is these prediction markets is that they're gambling sites more and more. That's the real business opportunity, and their brands are eventually, gonna.
Well, they're gambling businesses with the occasional insider
right.
trading, Eric.
Right.
They have
Right.
the occasional insider trading
right.
as well.
Right.
But
Yeah, to me, it's the intellectual argument behind NFTs and that side of tokenization put into a trading market. That's not even that big of an insight. That's literally what it is, and you're kind of seeing that group refunnel around prediction markets as they moved off of kind of NFTs. So
I think it's more likely a casino buys a prediction market than a stock exchange, because I feel like a stock exchange doesn't want to get in the gambling business. But if the gambling companies decide, oh man, this regulatory arbitrage is going to persist, we can't get the government to stop them, then they might say, ooh, we need to get in this business right now.
Well, that's definitely if you can't beat them, join them, because
Right.
so many of these gambling, casinos and sports gambling sites are pissed off because they fought so hard to get regulatory approval in different states, and then prediction markets just barrel through to find a loophole to get them done. So if they can't get them banned, you might as well just buy it. I agree.
There's definitely gonna be juice around prediction markets.
Yeah, we love it.
oh, no question. Yeah. Moving on to prediction reaction number 3. Ilya Sutskever sells safe superintelligence.
Smart. I mean, sure. Yeah, I don't know what investors are expecting at this point from them. Like their goal is like basically like we need to terraform Mars.
Well, they
for
also said that
intelligence.
they were not going to release a product until they reached super intelligence, whatever standard that's measured by. But then they have backtracked that, and I think in the last couple of months have said that they would explore releasing some products before they reach that goal. So clearly there's some need to make money of some kind. It's not just, hanging out in that ecosystem. But whether or not that works in the foundation model race, I'm not sure.
This would certainly be the most extreme license and poach, right? It's like, obviously this would be done in the not an acquisition when, half of the value is probably just hiring Ilia and the other half is getting the team. Very plausible. We just don't have very much visibility into what's going on over at SSI.
Yeah. It's almost like the most cynical argument for a licensing acquihire, because I don't even know what there would be to license at this point. We don't even know what IP they have. Just Ilia is LeBron. Well, he's younger, but he's who's I don't know. I'm not watching enough NBA these days, but he's he's that big. So whoever gets,
or is
him,
he like he's like Kevin Durant, or like I'm
again
not
that old.
necessarily,
Like I don't.
Yeah, I don't know exactly.
but-
All our narratives are from 5
We're two
years ago.
millennials.
We don't have
we're on the come up. I don't know. Is he Luca?
Maybe he's Luca.
But Luca's dominant. I'm sort of saying I think he's
he's post,
or he's
post dominant.
I don't know.
I don't know.
very
You've seen like Noam Shazir going into Google and getting a lot of credit for the Gemini turnaround. Let's put it like this: there's no question that there is a multi-billion-dollar deal just to get Ilia at any point in time.
Of course.
If he decides one day, or his investors push him one day to do this, like it's going to be a massive outcome for him. So it's really just up to him and his investors. And but it's a smart pick. I could see it happening.
All right, those are 3 of the information's predictions. We'll link to them maybe in the episode notes. Here we got Fred Wilson, epic, famous venture capitalist.
Moving on,
Spicy predictions from Fred.
You like Fred's predictions? He does them every year, and he seems like he's much more interested in being a personality than an investor these days, right? Or where do you situate Fred? In
he's always used his writing to stay out there. I think he's a good writer. He's succinct. I think he knows to make the predictions spicy, and sometimes like many predictions, they're guilty of wish casting a little bit, forecasting what you want to have happen. But I think he's a smart guy. I think they're interesting. We can argue about them.
Yeah, he has a great history, and he is known, I would say, as a VC influencer of sorts with his writing. I think it's pretty influential. So moving on to the first Fred Wilson prediction we will debate. Smart glasses finally reach product market fit in 2026, but it won't be Meta that delivers the winning approach. I don't think this is true. I think maybe I'm just very bearish on the sort of like VR AR working anytime soon, and perhaps the glasses are the closest we're going to get it to work, but I just don't think people like stuff on their face. I think AirPods work because they're in ear. I think other devices work.
Wearing glasses.
But smart glasses and things floating around my cycle of vision, my glasses will look dirty. I just don't see the appeal of that as a lifelong glasses wearer. What do y'all think?
I don't see it. Well, I guess the problem I have is like, if there is a product market fit, it almost has to come from Meta, because they're the only one with any sort of scale. Like, who's going to come out of the blue?
Well, product market fit is the biggest wiggle room claim, because it's like, not that it's market penetration or anything. It's like, people start to see the value. Yeah, I don't know what company he's even envisioning here. I'm sure he's got one in mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really, like, from a startup perspective, there aren't that many that I think have the cash to compete at the hardware scale. I mean, Snap is like kind of still plugging away at this thing, really sort of quixotically. Like no one really can control Evan as he continues to invest money in this thing that he's done forever. And then I don't know who else there is. Like I will admit I've seen more Meta, what are they called? The smart glasses they have?
Well, there's the Ray-Ban glasses, but I don't know.
Yeah, the Ray-Ban glasses.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, I've seen more of them around than I would expect.
All right, I've got a prediction. Maybe I'll come up with another one in my official slot, but this is very relevant to this. I think the OpenAI device with Johnny Ive will be a pen. This has been my friend of the podcast, Max Child, has been hammering that it's going to be a pen. I think Bloomberg literally did a column based on Max's conviction. And then there was some sketchy report that seemed to substantiate it. Max isn't taking a victory lap yet, but I'm listening to them. And so he's bullish on a pen, which, like you're saying, is a sort of a different device. And the idea is, you keep the pen on you and it records, and maybe when your it takes in all your handwriting.
I was going to say, would it analyze your handwriting as well?
Yeah, I think that's part of the goal. Yeah.
Lock it in. I mean, that was
the mistake that Humane made. They did a pin, but not a pen.
Right.
It's like they were off by a letter.
You just have to switch the vowel and then multi-billion-dollar
Oh, no, we meant we were doing a pen, not a pin. I like bringing up the Johnny Ive. We'll get to OpenAI in a bit, but I something needs to come out of that whole operation this year. So might as well be something. But with the pen, like, does it like you highlight text or something like on paper? And it would.
Well, I just think you're like a doctor. You're like walking around. You have your ambient thoughts. It's all feeding into your model. And then when you're ready to sit in front of the computer, you output it, and you have all these conversations. It's in some ways the dream of AI, or it's like we all want to get away from screens, right? So if you're building a device like that allows you to escape a screen, so that then when AI can digest it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Having a screen-free AI note taker, but you would still be taking the notes. I don't know. Interesting.
Could it be the pen from GoldenEye? And it's like a very tense situation where every time they double click it arms the bomb, and double click it again, it unarms it, and you have to keep track of it until finally Boris explodes.
That's the safe superintelligence pen that they're working on.
Yeah.
Moving on. Second Fred Wilson prediction we're going to debate. The SpaceX IPO, the largest ever, marks the market top, and we are in a bear market by year's end afterwards.
Solid prediction.
I'm not going to push too hard against that. That is very reasonable.
You guys are starting to look into this more than me. Okay, the SpaceX IPO is apparently going to hinge on space manufacturing, right? So the SpaceX story is obviously we'll build rocket ships, the reusable rocket ships. Then it's like, okay, we'll build satellites. And that has, been a great success. Starlink is generating a lot of money. That's the real business seemingly. But it's an Elon company. He wants the valuation to be what, like $1.5 trillion, like the largest IPO ever. So you need, as Elon well understands, you always need another story. And so it's going to be space manufacturing. So are people going to buy, like, is the space manufacturing thing something that's coherent? Do people buy it?
There's a lot of hype right now about it. I mean, the number of investors who've been talking to me about space data centers is something worth looking into.
Sorry, is it space data centers instead of manufacturing? All right, let me.
Well, it's a lot of things. I mean, I think.
Well, also it is space manufacturing as well. That's part of it too. Yeah, no, it's all of the above.
It's just space. It's all going to happen. Everything's in space.
We're doing shit in space now. We're done here. We've moved outside the orbit, or we're in the orbit, but we're off terra firma. The things that you were doing down here, we can now do it up there. Otherwise, it's sort of the same.
We're no longer in the arena, but we are in orbit.
Yeah.
Do you think Mars is going to be in the prospectus, or some of the Elon fans are a little disillusioned by everything?
Good prediction. I would say 98% likely Mars has at least one. If you do Control F on the S1.
I hope so, right? Like, I hope it's a risk factor. Elon's real reason for building this company is to get us to Mars, and we might burn endless sums of money, like, trying to get there. Or, I don't know. Elon fanboys, I mean, it depends whether you're trying to make money on his companies or not. But, like, some people worry that he's lost sight of getting to Mars, right? That's what he's supposed to be doing, and that he's not, like, committed to the cause.
Being a public company would definitely hurt that. Like, you're able to get by a lot more with private investors, having some sort of Mars-like plan, whereas I think having analysts ask you on a quarter-by-quarter basis why there's this much investment in the Mars program is probably frustrating to him. I mean, Elon's been known to tell investors on earnings calls to go fuck yourself. But I would be shocked if there is not at least some mention of Mars within the S1. But for the time being, it's just manufacturing in space, pills in space.
We agree, largest IPO ever. Hopefully in 2026. We're going to waste a lot of energy talking about it if it's not in 2026. And then I think the thing we don't know is it the top tick? I definitely think I don't know. It's not WeWork. There's a real Starlink business, but there's definitely a risk that just like, it's a similar founder situation where it's like shout the biggest number you can and hope everybody continues to believe you. And, some of the air could come out of that ahead of the IPO.
There's already so much speculation in Tesla as to what the future of that company is really about.
Right.
I mean, a huge percentage of its value comes from robots right now, and like the Optimus program, which hasn't made a cent and isn't even close to real world level production. So yeah, I mean, that's part of the Elon gambit, and it's worked for him as a public company, is to like have these unrealistic sounding programs that people continue to believe are highly valued. So yeah, Mars, why not?
For our final Fred Wilson prediction to debate today, an AI-generated song is nominated for Song of the Year in the 2027 Grammy nominations. So I guess we're pushing a little ahead there, but I guess the nominations come out the year before. I don't think this is going to happen. I think there's no way. I can't imagine the Recording Academy getting behind AI in this way. Tom, you're the Hollywood whisperer, which is music adjacent. What do you think?
I've never really reported the music industry. It's so dirty. He has the right idea, wrong prediction. Like awards are the most backward looking conservative groups out there. They're the last people that would want to willingly accept an anti-artist, anti-creativity technology and give it an award. The only possibility I could see is like it gets revealed that a song that everyone enjoyed, had more AI composition aspects of it. The thing that he should have done, which I think is actually a decent prediction, is that an AI generated song goes number one or like charts really highly on the Spotify or Billboard charts. That I could totally see happening.
Well, songs have already charted, just not number one. So that's very much in the realm of possibility.
Yeah. Yeah. And I already, I love some of the AI songs out there. Most of my music is AI generated these days. I think it's that We Are Charlie Kirk song. Have you guys heard that one?
Of course I've heard that one.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a banger. And
that one,
I think more to come.
Has taken over the nation, really.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be sung at the next RNC.
Well, that is a big vacuum for AI art. It's like Republicans who want to be pandered to but don't have any artists in their camp, desperate for somebody to make their propaganda. And I guess
Joe
AI
Rogan is not campaigning. He likes it. He loves AI music. He talks about enjoying like AI. What is it, like AI rap, like sort of a melding of rap and Motown or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of the charting AI music is country western music or country pop. So do with that what you will.
Right.
I think it's very clear what's going on there. Yeah. What's funny is that music probably is not obviously mainstream, but it's charting wise. I think it's been a while since like a country song went number one, or usually it'll do it if it has like some hip hop influence.
Country songs go number one all the time, but they're certainly country pop songs. It's not, if you're being a genre purist, no, it's basically pop with a steel guitar and the right drum beat in the back.
Yeah.
Back to the prediction, I think much more likely that there's an AI generated hit than it gets a Grammy nomination. Like I'm not convinced necessarily there'll be, a top 10 hit this year, but I'm surprised he's going with this thing that's gate kept by humans.
Yeah. Yeah. Agree. And by the way, if you want to lean into the dystopia of that, an AI generated number one hit, that offends a lot of people. That is kind of a concerning concept that we are being entertained by our algorithms in that way. But yeah, I agree. He's slightly off the mark in terms of the body to hang it on.
Hey folks, I'm Amar, product and design lead at Google DeepMind. Have you ever wanted to build an app for yourself, your friends, or finally launch that side project you've been dreaming about? Now you can bring any idea to life, no coding background required, with Gemini 3 in Google AI Studio. It's called vibe coding, and we're making it dead simple. Just describe your app, and Gemini will wire up the right models for you so you can focus on your creative vision. Head to ai.studio/build to create your first app.
Now it's time for the newcomer predictions.
Our house predictions.
Now's the well thought out, accurate ones.
Not just shitting on other people's predictions, but
take out your pens now.
Right.
Your AI pens. Your
All right, Tom. What's your prediction?
I made a couple, but the ones that we should probably dig into here is going to be a tough year for OpenAI. I think they are facing a ton more competition. They've raised so much money in the last year. And the thing that I keep wondering about is like executive stability. And they have, in the last 18 months, brought on new CFO, new head of products, Johnny Ive, whatever you want to call that. And some of these people are from the Sam Altman orbit. Some of them are just general Silicon Valley talent. But that's a very chaotic environment to work at. It's just historically, it's just built on, like a Native American tribal ground or something. There's just always a sense of unrest and I don't know, darkness pervading OpenAI. I think there's going to be a big shakeup at some point there as they start slowing down in terms of their growth, as raising money becomes more problematic. And, I don't want to name names too much because it's maybe a little unfair to say so-and-so is going to get fired this year. But like, if OpenAI does struggle to raise more money, and they will need to raise money this year, there's no question, the finance team will be an interesting thing to look at.
Who's to blame? Who's the person who made a big public speaking blunder in 2025? Who's the person who was the CEO of a company, but then OpenAI decided to bring in another former CEO?
Well,
we're talking about, we're not going to be too cute. This is Sarah Fryer, CFO of OpenAI, former Nextdoor CEO. Tom, are you predicting?
And also former CEO of Square. I just think she'll be a person to watch this year. I think if things are going great for OpenAI and they can raise more rounds and their data center deals keep going off without a hitch, then she's probably solid. But I think if things do slow down this year, that's just an area of extreme tension.
Though if OpenAI can't fundraise, there is one person responsible. That is Sam Altman. He's sold the world on that company. He is their fundraising machine. But, who knows?
Yeah, it's hard to... And look, Sarah Fryer is a very well-respected executive in Silicon Valley. I mean, she really lent a ton of credibility to Square when she was there, helping to bring that company public. And, Nextdoor was problematic, but that company was problematic. Like, they were struggling in general. So I don't want to say she's like anything but, an example of the high quality of talent they have at the executive level. That said, there's a lot of pressure on her, and there's often scapegoats when companies struggle. And it just wouldn't surprise me if that is the area of focus.
Do you think Anthropic passes OpenAI in valuation in 2026?
Well, I think that depends on what this supposed round that was coming together at the end of last year, the one that apparently is at the $800 billion plus level. Like, do I think, which Anthropic I think is at like late 3 billions? Like, are they going to more than double their valuation this year? I don't think so. But I think Anthropic's credibility as a company, which is like a it's not like an objective metric, but I think their credibility as a company could surpass OpenAI. Yeah. I think people might...
Credibility? That's not...
Yeah.
Reputation.
Okay, let's put it like this.
That's a hedge.
Cool factor?
Yeah.
Which way in credibility?
Well, they're definitely not cool. This
trusted?
is the Dario company. The guy who has like stuffed animals everywhere. I think that... Well, I don't know. What's like the objective metric I could base this on? If it's evaluation, no. Is it like quality of model? They've already surpassed them.
Right.
I think
you answered it correctly. You're not predicting Anthropic to pass OpenAI valuation in 2026.
No, but I do think the general wisdom
OpenAI, has a huge consumer business, which is, can't take it away from them.
Right.
All right, Madeline, prediction?
All right, my prediction. I think defense tech, which was really hot all of this last year, is going to stay hot this year. But the first big wave of M&A of some of these companies will start. And I think the buyers will be more other startups rather than the primes. I think there will be some consolidation on the private side rather than like Lockheed going in and buying some of these companies. I do think that
you make boats, I make drones. We both need a huge lobbying operation to win government contracts. Let's
team
merge
up, and then we can
have
be the
different-
boat
right.
drone company together. I think that is no question going to happen. The piece that I'm skeptical on is if Anduril is really going to buy one of the other big players in the space, because they don't need to. So will they buy like one of these one-off, satellite or feature companies to do one thing? Possibly, yes. I could see that being where they become the acquirer. But I do not think that they're going to buy. I'm betting against them buying like a Saronic or like a Shield or something. They simply don't need to.
It's like instead they're going to do it themselves and say, "Why are you being annoying? Like we're the leader here."
I do think also that if there is a ceasefire in Ukraine, that could be a big slowdown for the market, because that has been, the main place where a lot of this tech is being tested and where people are getting contracts to do experimental, work there. However, if we go to war with Venezuela this year, then, new markets, door wide open. So I don't think that necessarily just Ukraine winding down would lead to a slowdown in the space anymore.
I thought you were going to say Taiwan. I thought you were going to say with China or Greenland. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say there's so much more, as we are the American hemisphere and launching our, missions, the defense tech market only grows. So
yeah, the drumbeat for war escalates in, I don't know, Northern Europe and also Central America and also Northern South America. Is Anduril going to go public, you think?
That, I think they could. I think it's possible. I'm not sure if it's going to happen 2026. It might be early 27. It depends on the market. They've, done some looking into that, but I don't think, I'm skeptical that it actually happens.
Feels like we'd hear the buzz,
Yeah, I think, there's always, the Databricks going public conversation if we're talking about equally huge decacorns, and Databricks seems to me like one that would be a 27 at least and not 26. So I'm going to stick with that for Anduril as well.
All right. Yep. I'll end with my prediction. I have a couple now that I'm tying up the loose ends of everything that people didn't see coming in 2026. I mean, I think macro bullish on AI going strong still in 2026. And I think two specific bad things happen because AI is going strong. One, I think we're going to get like a huge international hoax enabled by AI. I don't know if you saw the piece, Casey Newton in Platformer. There was this viral screenshot that seemed to be about DoorDash or Uber Eats from a worker, sort of a white collar worker saying, oh, we're doing all these terrible things. We're giving workers a desperation score. And then Casey Newton reached out to the person who posted that to try and get substantiating documents. And the person apparently sent him like a whole report. And then it turned out the whole thing was fake, and it was basically an attempt to substantiate what was, basically an AI generated thing. And now you can create an AI generated report to try and substantiate it. In the business, reporters would call this like rat fucking, when people go to sort of elaborate lengths to try and con reporters. And whether it's a reporter or not, I mean, I think we're going to see a huge international hoax. I mean, I think maybe I'll go so far as to say major media outlet sends a push notification about something that's not true. I don't know. What do you guys think about that one?
I buy that. If people fell for the, Balenciaga Pope, which frankly I did, then I think we're going to see, something much more nefarious than that, if that was already, like a year ago.
Yeah, I wonder how long the DoorDash thing was interesting because it went on for a decently long amount of time. Like seeing AI generated or misleading posts on social media is like just the fact of life right now. It's very difficult to spend any time, certainly on Twitter or X, without seeing bullshit on there. So I'm wondering like an article will be written at a major news outlet, you think, that will be based on an AI generated hoax? That's like where you're going.
Well, I'm saying more of I said a push notification because I think it's more plausible that it's like somebody becomes
like the
convinced
aggregator.
that it's like we got to move on, or it's like Business Insider sends
It's on the breaking
this thing just
desk.
happened, breaking,
Business
before
Yeah.
it really gets metabolized,
Yeah, I think it's totally possible. We're already there. The technology is there. It's just about like some bad judgment on an editor's
Right.
part at a big news outlet to not do the work, and they're overworked. They're trying to beat the news cycle. Yeah, inevitable. Sure, I buy it. What industry will it be about? Will it be about like politics? Will it be war? Will it be about like someone will say, well,
somebody's dead, some fake video, I don't, yeah, there are lots of options. The other one is, and this would be more sophisticated, but like an AI hack, like basically a sort of technique enabled by, powered by, AI. Either that's like, scaled phishing, or, there are lots of things, but a big cyber problem because of AI in 2026.
yeah, I mean, we got a lot of VC firms like to send us their partners' predictions at the end of the year. And that actually was one from Rama Sakar at Menlo, basically saying there was going to be a self-propagating attack where an AI agent would autonomously exploit vulnerabilities in other agents. That's kind of a more agent-specific one, but it fits into what you're describing. And as agents become more prevalent and more business processes depend on them, and there's a vulnerability there, it would make sense that agents are talking to agents. And
I do think how we're implementing AI is creating its own cybersecurity vulnerabilities. Like everybody giving Claude terminal access to our computers and all these agents, you're giving pretty deep access to startups.
Well, everyone's giving ChatGPT and Claude their health information constantly.
Right.
So that's a whole other can of worms. But lots of personal data is going in.
Right. The risk is just we're exposing all this very sensitive data much more cavalierly because of AI.
Right. I'd actually be interested. Have you ever tried to ask ChatGPT, like, if you were to guess my passwords based on my information?
That's
what would you
interesting.
say?
I've never asked that. Yeah.
Ooh, I'm
Yeah.
going to try that.
Yeah, that's
a good idea.
Or at least your security questions,
My last prediction, I'm curious what you guys think. This is unrelated to the AI ones. I think we see another big Elon world merger. Like right now with Grok, Elon, they're out there bragging about how many users X has, as if that sort of, their valuation per user is so much better than Anthropic, which is absolutely absurd. But he's seen a lot of this like synergy of hype by having X and Grok part of the same company. He needs to figure out something to save, Tesla. I think it's very believable that, X and Tesla merge in 2026.
Depends. Sure, Elon mergers make a lot of sense. People have expected Tesla to. Yeah, I think that's like on people's expectation list. My only issue with that is like Tesla's increasingly a robotics game, not necessarily
But that's robotics is AI powered.
Yeah, sure, it is. Yes, it fits into the same narrative. I think Grok is an LLM versus these are real world robotics, but it's an easy sell to investors. The only problem is that it's one thing to merge X and XAI, which had a lot of overlapping investors, and it was a private market. Like you've got to get shareholders on board with a Tesla thing,
right?
And they're already making a fairly thin case for valuation. So
True.
It's kind of like it depends on Elon's like juice this year.
Right.
I'm sure he wants it. Makes sense.
But he doesn't want all his companies public either. So
yeah, I like it. An Elon merger.
I like it.
What about other ones? What about like the Boring Company or
right? Well, yeah, there's so many.
Or Neuralink.
Right.
Yeah, you can get Grok and Neuralink, so you can chat inside your head.
Exactly.
Or Boring Company and Neuralink. Like, how do you burrow into people's
You
heads?
bore into your
chips?
head.
Yeah.
Those drills, they get big and small.
Yeah, the small micro drills. We were thinking too big, Elon. It's not about tunnels under Vegas. This is about tunneling into your brain.
Midterm elections are this year.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
All right. It's going to be a crazy. I mean, yeah. That alone will make it a crazy year, right? I mean, Trump's like, if I lose, I get impeached. It's going to be, I think in the business world, the big question is just like, does the AI juice keep pumping? I say yes in 2026. Do you think NVIDIA is up at the end of the year or down? I think that's the ultimate question. What do you think? I say up.
I think NVIDIA up because they're still making sales. There's still so many people buying their chips that they kill quarter by quarter. They've never really had a bad quarter. It's all still insane. I think 26 might be the last year.
Yeah, I think it's all up this year. I think we'll see in 2027 if, the rubber hits the road around exits for some of these more private companies and if people could actually get acquired. But I think for NVIDIA being up at the end of 26, yes.
Another roaring market, and then the poor Democrats maybe sweep into power for next year, and the market and everybody unravels.
Right. Things were fine when Republicans were in control of Congress, but now everything's turned. The only pushback I'd have on the market being up for AI is I'm not so sure about data center
right.
in the Neoclouds.
Yep.
I think that's very sketchy. I think the debt markets will be the thing I'm actually paying some of the most attention to this year, because these companies, CoreWeave is already, filing these very concerning sounding filings about, their need to consolidate debt and the changing rates and things like that. And we're seeing already a lot of the lenders jacking up rates on Neoclouds because of their uncertainty of the market. So I
CoreWeave
think
is still worth $38.8 billion, up 95%.
Yeah, it's still from its IPO.
Yeah.
It's been down a lot recently, but you've got CoreWeave down, you've got Oracle down. There are some other interesting companies that we've talked about in that world that would be really good indicators. And they'll be the first ones, I think, to start seeing problems.
All right, space to watch. Neoclouds, red flags from Tom. Cool. All right. Well, that's our show. Thanks so much. We'll see you in 2027.
Yeah, see you next year.
See you next year.
Come back next week, please. We'll be back. I promise. Yeah.
Bye.
See ya.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the podcast. If you're new here, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Listen in for new episodes every week wherever you get your podcasts.